What is going on, my people? How is 2024 treating you? It is treating me like super duper phenomenal. I feel like I'm 2024's favorite son. Hopefully, I don't jinx myself. Got some updates, got a couple cool resources for you, got some celebrations and announcements, and so I'm not sure which order I'm going to go in, so I'm just going to go. The very first thing I want to tell you about is there's this thing that I've been playing with. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, and it's really important to me because some of y'all know I came from the trades. Way back in the day, I started off as a plumber, went through apprenticeship, got my journeyman license, spent a lot of time out there in the field. And there was one thing that I learned and practiced that like transformed my career that I say without it, I wouldn't be here jabbing my jaws on the dang camera with you right now. And that's when I got introduced to like a different way of planning my work when I was a plumbing foreman. And so finally feel like I'm doing something or providing something to aspiring foremen, to trade field leaders that can like help them not be so dang stressed out, pulling their hair out all the time, because that's where I was. Anyhow, that is called the Field Leaders Planning Toolbox. I'm working on it right now. There's one active module focused on weekly planning. There's 4 more modules that I'm going to be releasing between now and the end of February. And right now, there's like a super, super cheap early adopter rate of like $19.99. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because maybe you know somebody, some foreman, some field superintendent, some young, ambitious, hardworking individual that if they added these tools, these planning tools to their toolbox, would experience like an explosion in terms of their career trajectory. And so my ask to you, there's going to be a link, of course, there's always links down there. But my ask is if you know anybody that could benefit from this Field Leaders Planning Toolbox, which is weekly planning, clearing the way, surfacing problems, long-term planning, and pool plan preparation. That may not be relevant to everybody, but on some projects that will. Give them this link. It can help them. And notice I said there is an early adopter rate of $19.99. The rate is going to be going up as I add more content to it. So if they get in now, they're going to get it super cheap. And as the content continues to build in there, they are not going to have to pay any more for that. Just the folks that buy after the early adopter rate expires. And so the first price increase is scheduled for February 9th. So jump on it. Celebration. I got to be live on camera with Miss Katie Anderson. We did a live stream talking about like our word for the year. And I'm not going to tell you what my word for the year is. I'm going to make you go watch the video, watch the replay. I'll put the link down there. If you're not familiar with Katie Anderson, she's a baller. She's in the lean world. She's got deep connections with Japan and the lean wizards over there. I mean, like, she's got real game. She provides a lot of value to her clients and to the lean community at large. She's not like specific to construction. She's out there in general industry. You ought to check her out. She's all about intention. She's all about developing leaders, and she has a sound and solid framework from which she comes from. And actually, if you've ever heard me say that leaders need to demonstrate the behavior they're seeking, I picked that idea out from one of her podcast interviews. It was an excerpt from the book. I was like, duh, like that just makes perfect sense. So link's going to be down there. Get to know Miss Katie. She's awesome. And I also got interviewed by Mr. Dennis Doran on his podcast, Soft as Steel, which Dennis has all kinds of content and resources available around the soft skills that are necessary for anybody in their career path and growing in terms of serving their people in an empathetic manner. And so I'm gonna put a link down there. We ended up talking about workforce development because in a former life, that's kind of what I did. And being able to go back and forth, the guy asked me, I thought the conversation was gonna be totally different. He asked me really thoughtful questions that were all about workforce and how do we attract the next generation and bring them into the industry. And he asked, some personal questions about me, nothing too personal. Amazing guy. I'm going to put the link down there to his YouTube channel, subscribe, and share with people if his content lands with you always. Time for resources. So I just connected with Miss Megan Shapiro through the LinkedIn. What's up, Megan? And she was doing this like what does she call it? A coffee chat, LinkedIn coffee chat, which is just a Zoom call, like getting to know one another. She's so down to earth, so cool, so fun. She's an attorney, which is like made me feel kind of fancy, right? Talking to fancy lawyer people, like without handcuffs on. That's a different thing for me now. Anyhow, she's out there in the world making a mark. She's been putting out some content. She's spreading her wings, testing it out, and she's got this executive documentation checklist. She's really about helping people mitigate or manage their risk for the purpose of increasing profitability. I'm going to drop a link down there so you can get like the downloadables, the checklist, all the checklisty things. If you like checklists, she's got a bunch of them. I think there was like 6. I can't even remember all of them. Anyhow, she's sharp. She's got it going on. She's awesome. So download the thing. And if you're on the LinkedIn, follow her because she's got some pretty good content. Oh, and then a quick reflection. We just had the reciprocal propulsion retreat out in Atlanta. Well, maybe not Atlanta, but 2 hours outside of Atlanta. Shout out to Miss Sarah for hosting us at her castle. We were told it was a cabin, but it was really more of a castle. And I got to spend face-to-face time with Mr. Nate Price for the very, very first time. He is an amazing man. There's a lot about him that I look to learning and growing into because that boy's got game. Anyhow, he's helping out a buddy of his get some information on the most useful and needed aspects of interpersonal skills for engineers today and into the future. He's an engineer by trade. You know, I've heard a rumor that some engineers may lack interpersonal skills. And so this survey is intended to help inform the development or the sprucing up, the polishing of some university curriculum to equip these young engineers with the interpersonal skills that we all like to joke about, right? So the link again is going to be down there. The completion date for the survey is like at the end of the week, February 2nd. So like hop to it, do the clicking, do the filling out. It's advertised to take about 4 minutes to fill out the survey, and you're going to be helping our future. You're going to be helping our youth, and you're going to be setting them up for success in their career so that they can contribute in very deep and meaningful ways. And lastly, we got the No BS with Jen and Jess live stream coming this Saturday, February 3rd. Oh, there's 2 more things I almost forgot. So first, I've got the Decentralized Conference happening Thursday afternoon starting at 3 p.m. Central Time, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Me and a host of my people, you can see their picture right here, are going to be talking about the entrepreneurial mindset in construction. Do me and yourself a favor, click the link, hit the reminder button so that you don't miss it. Everybody's got a spot. We got 7, I guess I'm the 8th person, 30-minute spots for each of us. And everybody's going to be bringing some very specific and unique experience that they have lived through to this conference and sharing that with you. And I have a very emotional opening and starting at 3 o'clock. I'm going to kick it off and I'm going to help everybody understand why I think this entrepreneurship as a construction professional can remedy the dissatisfaction and frustration a lot of super creative, high potential construction professionals are experiencing right now, simply because the organization they're with doesn't necessarily have the things that challenge them in the way that they need to be challenged. That's the point of the Decentralized Conference. I hope you'll be there. And if that's not enough, Saturday, February, what is that? February 3rd, Saturday, February 3rd, 8 a.m. Central, I'm going to be live with Jennifer Lacey. No BS with Jen and Jess. Again, link's going to be down there. And we're going to be we're doing a series really focused around communication. And the last one we did, which the audio was jacked up, I figured out what I did wrong. I'm going to make sure I don't do that again. Anyways, the last one was about brainstorming and collaboration and the need for input during a brainstorming and collaboration session. And so now we're going to be talking about performance conversations, like in the middle of executing the work, the assignment, working towards the goal. What is the appropriate type of communication to have? Is it time to say, do you have a minute so I can give you some feedback? I'm going to say, no, that is not the appropriate time. But it is appropriate to have a direct and clear communication about what ain't working and what needs to happen, like with the quickness, because we're in the middle of the damn thing. So hopefully I stir some stuff up there on Saturday. So be cool, be kind to yourself, and we'll talk at you next time. Peace.